Alex here with some more Nioh 2 Part 69. 69, dude! Oy vey. With the next main mission, Eye of the Beholder, where last time we did both a lot of things and yet not a lot of things at the same time, because we did Sealed Fate, where nothing happened except my character just walked back into Byodo-in and sealed herself along with Otakemaru, only to wake up and have William Anjin himself from the first Nioh game stumble into the temple and wake me up, and in so doing accidentally re-freeing Otakemaru, and so we gotta go chase the bitch down and put him down for good, because, let's be honest, resealing anything away that should have been killed long ago is usually a bad idea. Just kill the bastard and be done with it. And so we ended up fighting him. We didn't technically kill him. It was more or less in the way of the in the vein of the Oda Nobunaga fight from the first game, where you only really got him to a point. And then we ended up helping him go save his son Joseph in Dawn of Hope, which was a relatively straight-to-the-point side mission, even if it did have a few enemies here and there that just drove me up a wall. But now, we're going back to main antics in the Eye of the Beholder. And, I don't know if this is the last mission, or if there's another mission after this. I would not be surprised, because, you know, the game has mostly gone main in threes when it came to main missions. Also, there was a thing here that I found, and I didn't know that I found after the fact last time. Firestarter hood found in Todaiji, a temple complex in Nara, famous for its giant Buddha statue. The Great Buddha Hall that houses the statue was once burned down during the war between Matsunaga Hisahide and the three guardians of Miyoshi Yoshitsugu, which led to the statue remaining unsheltered for some time. Okay, so some little bonus trivia before we get into this thing. Let me check around just in case, because you know how the game likes to hide some of these. Okay, nothing. So we're still in Byodo-in, and the woman from a foreign land that William is chasing after seems to be up to no good. Yep, it's freaking Maria. It's just from the first game, just back all of a sudden. However, I'm far more curious about that man with the staff. If he intends to stir up war again, then we have no choice but to stop him. I love how the game, despite showing his name in his boss fight, they still don't refer to him by his actual name. Say what you will about Edward Kelly and his smiling Joker antics, at the very least he had a name. Whereas this, I mean, yeah, it's Otakemaru, so that who it really is, but the fact that they never call him that, or the name of the character of the guy he's looking like, is irritating. We don't have this time to sit around milling things over. We have to get moving. We need to get moving. It's the only way we're going to find answers. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Like, put him into the ground and have him stay down. This time. No more of this imprisoning bullshit. Put him down for good. Determine why the seal has been broken after all this time and settle things once and for all. Huh. And Mumio is joining us this time. Right out of the gate. You know, does anyone even light these candles, or do they stay on forever? Who attends this place? I ask you. And there's somebody there. Looks like it's the William, or somebody associated with him. Yep.
Well said. Let's go.
Huh, so they're all joining me. I don't even need the acolytes. You know, if all three of them help me in the boss fight, I'll be very happy. And there's no Kodamas, so no blessings to be found, which sucks. Okay, it's showing to go that way, but what's down over here? Oh, you son of a bitch. He's gone. A Yoki core. Don't need it, but... Okay, we have half a skeleton. Okay, I'm a little confused. We can either go down there, or we can go through here. I don't personally know. I do not know, honestly. Classic Nioh theme, back in its glory. I don't know if it's the same, or I don't know if it's a remix or what. There's a Yoki over there, but I can't reach him from over here. Well, this is a very odd redoing of the level layout. Ah, purple phoenix wing. I needed that. Really needed that. You know what? Let's go down here. Ladder here. It just keeps going over here. A ninja boy over here. But I'd rather not fight him right there. Leveled that up. So we can either go here or where the ladder was. Either way, I guess. Change my spear. Where's the great Holly? I either want Holly or the life drain. I'll try the life drain. Fugatsu, and he's a strong boy. Okay, what the fuck? He's never done that. He did like some kind of backflip and it just sent me into oblivion. Well, that's a very, is it me or does that Yoki look pint-sized? I've never seen a Yoki that small in the whole game. What the hell is happening? Okay, Odachi then, because that's not working. Why is there a Yoki that's like twice the, less than half the size of the normal one? When does that happen? Spanish ninja. Yeah. Sure. Wait a minute. Dying Pride. I don't think I remember anything with that name. Dragon treasure over there. Mezuki over there. he is super fast. Picked up the elixir, please, game. Oh my god, I hate the inventory selection. I would love a menu to pick any of this shit up, but there isn't one, so... Thank you. Ugh. Dumb. In the brain. Nioh mage locks. Get rid of him. What do I want? Matchlock, I don't really care for at this point. Steel. Anything down here? Yes, there is, actually. There's a bunch of mini-bosses scattered throughout the level, and I never figured out what to do with that area with the bridge, so I need to go figure that out. Another pillbox. The drying pole. What the hell? Damn it, Mumio. She's just going ham on him. Shit, Tango. Tango. How the fuck did that miss? And she's gone. That door was not there before.
All right. Now let's get after Maria.
Not yet. I want to go figure out everything back there. How many items do I have in my inventory? Oh my god. Holy shit, Ghost Key. You know, let them handle him. I'll go handle the cannon boy over here. Bye-bye. I sent him into the water and took his loot. I did not want any of that shit. Whoa. Okay, some recent victims. Yeah, I don't want to go to the back door yet. I want to explore the rest of this shit. Cannon Boy is so weak. It's a joke, really. Made our way back here. Another lieutenant. Another drawing pole. Scampus. I got a lot of somethings, actually. The drawing pole. I don't remember this one. If I've ever seen this one. The name sounds familiar, but I highly doubt. But I don't remember ever seeing something with that name. Seeing something matching that description. Over there last time. I think I already got a Phoenix Wing. Firefly Blade, which I've seen a million times. Yeah, it has to be that Magatsu that's down there. And I missed the thing. spring. Okay, how do I get back up? This place. How the fuck do I get back there? Over here? Goodbye, douchebag. There he is. Nope, no more Dragon Ball Z bullshit for you, buddy. And he got me. Nope, not this time. Goodbye. Let there be light. Is that the trophy for getting rid of all of the Shadow Realm spots throughout the game? Because I think that's what it is. In which case, I feel good about myself. Either that or something else. Okay. I missed the thing that was on the ledge, so I want to try to get back over there. Okay. Ugh. Okay, how do I get back over there? Mystic Art here, Mystic Art there. How do I get back to a previous point? I don't want to quit a mission. Good. Now I can get the chest that's right here, as well as the thing that I missed. Good thing I saved stuff, a lot of this shit, instead of wasting it. Okay, Metis, I can upgrade. What is this? Elixir can be carried by 1. Stun arrows, I don't care about stun arrows. Levitation. I have not used, like, shurikens in this game much. Poison resistance I could do, but I want to find the one that'll... Which was the one that had me come back to life? Because I want to see... Yeah, this one. Upgrade that, because it's very good. I can't remember if the first Nioh had it, but if it didn't, well, kudos to this game for having it. Okay, there's the thing that I blocked over by complete whatever reason. Okay, so now I gotta get back to the temple over there. I'll do the shrine that's over there. If I can find the shrine back over that's over there. That's the spring. There's this platform which took me back up here. How the fuck do I get down there? I'll go over here. How's my weaponry? Whoa, this is definitely upgraded. Whoa, that's a really cool looking Odachi. Looks a little weird though, but I'll give it a try. Yeah, it has a nice look to it. Is that a bird form that looked on the formed on as for the guard? Looks like it. Off with his head. Away with you, foul beastie. Up, up, and away again. Already did the stuff over there, right? Let's not... Do I want to kill it? You know what? Screw it. Let's do it, just so I can get points out of it at least. Okay, my snake is giving me health back for some reason. Oh, I love the Odachi. Get some revenants coming out just to see if we can get something out of them. Hunting shoes. Bleh. Come on. Obsidian gear, meh. Alrighty then. Second half. And we can level up. Yay, yay. Do I want to do Constitution or one of the other two? I'll do Constitution. Let's get rid of some of this excess shit that I don't need. Scout. Tiger of Higo helmet. The mountain range helmet. What a lot of those helmets are so freaking ridiculous. Takezo's headband. Didn't Okuni wear this? No, I think she wore something else. The Royal Horned Helm, which looks so silly. Justice Ministry gauntlets. Yeah, that's what's his name, who had the hood in the first game. Do. Master Swordsman sandals. Why can't I get a 300 plus defense Master Swordsman pants and robe? That's what I really want, because I look good in it. Justice Ministry hood. What was his name? Mitsunari or something? It was so freaking long ago, I don't even remember half the characters' names. Uh-oh. This is just like the freaking John D. lab all over again.
daughter of Amida. The Queen of Osaka was too weak for my cause. But perhaps...
Freaking Maria, back again, causing trouble. If we have to fight her again, I quit. I'm not subjecting myself to that torture all over again. Okay, granted, I likely will have to anyway, but, you know, that was like one of the worst boss fights in the whole DLC. Because she was so friggin' broken compared to everything else. Like, all the rules of Nioh 1 thrown out with that, with her boss fight. It was so bad. No Amrita from that bit? No? Okay. Home away from home, for one thing. He has friends that he grew attached to. He had a wife that he grew attached to with kids. Also, well, of course, that's just this game's version. In the real version, well, he more or less got forced to stay here. Funny how that works in real life. Another drying pull. Do I even need it? I got a bunch of weapons already as it is. Okay, who's... Alright. Friggin' Mugatsu's. Well, that worked out. Surprisingly well, actually. Generic hand cannon. No, I don't want it. But I beat the crap out of anyone right here. I do not want the Kingo shit. Well, except for maybe that, but other than that. Otakemaru! Otakemaru, show yourself! Or Maria in this case. Whoever. Yup, she's doing what Kelly did with Oda Nobunaga. Ha! Meddlesome Spaniard. Oh, hey, douchebag. Oh my god, we gotta go through this shit again. Wait, what? What's... Okay, what's happening? I'm fighting him in my own mind. Wait a minute, he's using a feral form. like to heal, damn it. Huh. Hideyoshi's giving me a hand. It's a phantom. It's cool. It's like a 3 variant fight. Oh, brute form. That's cool. Freaking the spirit of Hideyoshi's is helping me out. Nope. Defense left you wide open in phantom form, buddy. True form. That was cool. Uses multiple versions of himself. I love that. I love that Hideyoshi's spirit is actually helping you as his redemption arc. Whoa, look at that. That's cool. Spear Master Race, bitch. How do you like it? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He's gonna kill me because I fell for a grab. I was on the ropes. Fuck you, game. Come on. Seriously? I had him, and then he cheesed me with his fucking... I sent my snake after him, and he killed me anyway. What a bitch. What a fucking bitch. What a bitch. Well, what do I want to use instead? I personally think he's a little too fast for for the Odachi. Same for the longsword. Double snake. Holly blade. I can't believe his fucking grab is what did me and my snake lost. Are you kidding me? Fucking Yoki. Ugh, I hate Yokis. Hate them. And I lost a bunch of points. Because reasons. Fuck off. Okay, let's try that again. Hopefully I won't fall for the goddamn cheapskate grab attack. Mind battle again. He debuffed me. Oh, come on, the fucking water. I could not tell he was going to do that. I really couldn't. You know what? I'm just gonna make a beeline straight for the door. I'm not even gonna stop. And I almost had him on the first round. If it weren't for the grab attack, he would have been finished. Lightning is the problem. That and the water. Get him. Well, that was a waste. Do burst counter. he didn't grab me, I have no idea, but I don't care. Oh, no, 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 no. How the fuck did he kill me? He couldn't do that before. He did a grab attack, which before would only do like 90% of my health, and now it just kills me in one hit. What the fuck? I was enjoying this boss before, but now it's just dragging itself on. Like, I was kicking his ass the first time. The first time. And now he's just padding himself out. Like a bitch. And it's fucking annoying. And I have no idea how to get rid of that lightning debuff that he puts on me, which is freaking irritating. I can never tell when he's gonna do that grab attack. It gets me every time. Going with the classic route. Get him. Okay, a fireball that I can never tell, and I am dead again because of a bullshit move that he pulls out. Seriously, he's fun for like the first 3/4 of the fight, but now he pulls out shit out of his ass that is just impossible to tell what he's doing. Fucking fireballs and water pools and all sort, and instead of doing straight lines with his fire, he now does freaking wide attacks, and that fireball. The fireball's the worst one. And the grab attack, which I'm reading now, but it's freaking infuriating. And I love how, despite upgrading my Nioh and ninjutsu, it still does not take effect in half the time that it should. And I'm losing ki, and I cannot do anything about it. Ugh, that fireball. It just comes out so fast. I honestly don't know what to do about it. Oh my god. If I can survive this, I'll be one happy camper. Yeah, that fireball is the worst move. Like, what do you do about it? Come on, cat. What the fuck do I do? I mean to do something, and he goes and does something at the same time. It's like he's reading the controls, and it's infuriating. And that fireball attack of his is the worst move he does. Like, seriously, it comes out, boom. You can't protect yourself against it. You can barely get out of the way of it. Like, you know what? At least with Katsuie Shibata, you could see him coming. He didn't give you enough time to do anything most of the time, but at the very least you could tell what he was about to do. As soon as that fireball comes down, boom, dead. It's like the insta-kill button. Like, it's like the nuke from Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. It comes out, and you can't stop it, no matter what you do, and it's freaking stupid. Way to ruin a very good, up till now, a decent boss fight. Then you pull this shit. Dark Realm resistance. Yes, please. Yay! Give him a bunch of moves that are already hard enough to avoid, but then you add in a fucking insta-kill button. Yeah, great game design. And I almost killed him that one time, except for until the graviton came and ruined everything. I love how I can never find the freaking Amrita over there. I love how I'm hitting directly at him and my spears miss every time. You know what? Do it. Kill me. Kill me. I wasted too many elixirs on him. I love how I hit him directly with a spear, only to miss every time. It's fucking stupid. This all could have, 20 minutes of this could have easily been ended had I beat him within, 1% of his health. But no, he had to grab me out of nowhere, and that just ruined everything. Fucking nonsense. I don't have any holy ones, do I? No, I don't. I don't think I ever got a holy, sacred Tonfa at any point in the game. You know what? Screw it. I'm getting help. I'm tired of this shit. His super fireballs are nonsense. The fact that I almost beat him that one time, only to get paid for it by a fucking rat, is nonsense. Play, asshole? Fine, we'll play. Oh yeah, fucking fireballs. Yeah, look at that. How do you dodge that? It's like it's not possible. He summons it, and you're boned. And look at that. I can't do anything because he keeps summoning shit out of thin air. I love how my AI partner is just standing there, not even doing anything. Look at that, she's just standing there. She didn't... Wow, it completely glitched. It's not even doing anything. Oh yeah, fucking fireball. Glitched AI that refuses to do anything, and a super stupid attack that kills you within one hit, within 1 nanosecond of showing up. Fuck this game. This boss fight was so good up until now. Then they ruined it. He does not need an insta-kill fireball attack. He really does not. And I have no idea what the fuck they were thinking by adding that. The AI's not doing anything. Look, he wasn't doing anything. He's just standing there. He just stood there and buffed himself. He did not do anything. I would love to fight Otakemaru with everyone, but unfortunately they won't do it for whatever reason. I have to do it in my own head. Because reasons. Oh, now the AI actually does something. you idiot. Come on. Come on. Got him. Oh my god. Kill him. Kill him. Right in his crotch. Oh. Yokai Slaying Master, Samurai of Legend trophy. Monk staff. And we got Sohio blade fragments. And a smithing text. Demon axe. Exotics. Dragon. Exotic. Yeah, we unlocked the exotic weapons. Okay. And there's his core. The eyes. Suzuka. Why do I get the feeling I've read that name somewhere? Oh, I know. That was the lady that was the person that assisted what's his name when they slew Otakemaru originally in the old legend. Yeah, I know who he's talking about. At least I assume I do. And she manipulates, in order to get to weaken Otakemaru in the legend. I can't remember the name of the guy who killed him, but because it was a while ago when I first read the profile, but he teamed up with this girl who was in love with him, and she used her feminine wiles to get Otakemaru to get his guard down, and then when the time came, they both killed him. Well, by kill, I mean imprisoned him. Oh my god. Okay, on the one hand, the overall theme and moves of Otakemaru is very cool. The fact that he can use all three shifting yokai forms, albeit to a greater extent of you. So it's like you're basically using all the skills you've learned up till now to basically, up to all the skills you're now familiar with, used to take advantage of him. So it makes sense, quite frankly, that they would do that. And I do like how that even after a while, he comes out in his real form, which is cool. I like that. And that you have to be more careful to avoid his moves. The problem with Otakemaru is, okay, the grab attack I eventually learned. I eventually learned to be aware of that. The fact that he killed me with it, despite the fact that I almost killed him the first time, pisses me off, but hey, at least I know what to look out for. What ultimately ruins him is that god-awful fireball attack that just torches everything. It's like an atomic bomb. He summons it, and boom, you're dead. It's an insta-kill move, which is like one of the last things one should ever consider putting in a boss, let alone a final boss. And it's like, come on, he's already pulling a Byakuya by throwing a million swords at you. He's throwing water and fire and thunder at you. Dude, did he really need a fireball to suddenly appear and kill you just like that? It honestly makes no sense, because you can't even react in time for it. Like every other boss, even the ones that I hated, like Tetsuya Shibata, at the very least you could tell what he was doing. Granted, you could barely react in time, and you had to be very split-second with how you reacted. Like, for example, you couldn't get away, just dodge the charge. You had to block or attack in the midst of the charge to stop him. I get that. Or dodge into his range as he throws his weapons around because it leaves him open to attack, which they do with Otakemaru here. I like that. There's a lot of mixing of strategy that you have to utilize at this point. I'm all for that. But to have a suddenly beat the... But to have a boss like him, especially one that's the last one in the game that you would like to be the best, suddenly bring out a break the game move where you have it comes out of nowhere, you have no time to react to it at all, and you die like literal, like just like that. It's not good, honestly. Like 90% of Otakemaru as a boss is great. I love what they do with him, but then they pull that stupid fireball and some of the other shit that he does, and I'm just like, why? Why is that even necessary? Why did you need? What was the reason for that? You don't need it. He was fine the way he was with everything else. But anyway. Yeah, I do like him. I really do. It's just that damn fireball that just stops the game completely because of how sudden it is and how overpowered it is. And even when you block it, like I tried to do, I couldn't stop it. It just blows you up just like that. You can't. It's like, you know, you could block the fireballs from the aberrants and other things, but that, nope, you have to take it and fight them all over again. Ugh. I do like that Hideyoshi appears and is like, hey, I'm helping you out here. That's good. A little bit of a redemption arc for him. Okay, can we kill Maria and put her down for good? Let me switch swords to reflect the cutscene. Bone Pile Spear. Hopefully I can get the damn final amounts of speeches out of him. Let's do this one. Barbarian hatchets. Exotic. Exotics. Only took it till super late in the game to happen. Holy swords. These are the ones that he wore once, way back in the game. Hideyoshi, I mean. Okay, let's go with these. Let's do this shit. Let's finish it. So, is he dead completely? Whoa. That was me, apparently. Uh-oh. What the fuck? He's alive?
But isn't Hideyoshi a traitor and a...
Looks like you're off the mark.
藤吉郎、人に戻ったのね。
ああ、すっかり。長い間面倒かけたな。
で、あやかしになったご気分は？体はどこもおかしくない？
I love how they're all.
そいつはこっちに聞いてくれよ。なあ、秀の字。
I love how they're all friends, despite the fact that he became a murderous, authoritarian lunatic. Then again, he was brainwashed, so I guess it's all good now.
戻ったか。
Hanzo. Joseph.
Tsuyu to uchi. Tsuyu to kie nishi wagami ka. Naniwa no koto? Yume no mata yume.
Back where it all began. Juzen Sakura.
どうせ行くとこないんでしょ？クレバ。
I love how both times the villains brought back one of the two dead unifiers of Japan. They both give the villains a big middle finger, and they don't even do what they say. That's deja vu. Okay, so Hideyoshi came back briefly, and then I'm going to assume he died, right? Because we saw him walking into the interim. They brought back the classic, the original Nioh 1 theme. That's nice. So this game is mostly a prequel, but it does stretch till after the events of Nioh 1. And as for that vision we saw when we came out of the dreamscape, I'm guessing that was everyone that had used Sohaya Maru up till this point, such as the guy who slew Otake Maru originally. There was one other person, and then we saw me. Well, it's only 1 minute till 9, so I managed to beat the game on time. Well, that is Nioh 2. Well, for the most part. Kashin Koji, yeah, they do not ever refer to Otake Maru by his human form's name. We don't even get any details as to who Kashin Koji is. They just keep referring to him as the man in the hat. They never tell us who this guy is and what he has to do with Otake Maru, other than the fact that it's just his human form. Well, human quote, anyway. Well, what do I think about Nioh 1, Nioh 2, after having played the first game a year ago? Or, yeah, roughly a year ago, I want to say, because I honestly can't remember. I want to say it was last year, it was way back. Well, for the most part, I really do like Nioh 2 a lot. It does have a... But it's not without a lot of flaws, both due to some things that I liked or wish could have been changed, due to some things that I didn't like or wish could have changed, or not enough changed, because, well, let's be honest, upon starting the game, you're very much... It's very immediately like Nioh 1. Well, for the most part. The visual engine, the graphics engine is barely advanced since, although I do think there's a little more detail in some of the weapons. But before I go into the stuff that annoys me, let me go into what I really like about the game. For one thing, I do like that you do get to play as your own character, as opposed to William. And as such, you kind of have a little more feel for the kind of character you want to create. And the customization, for the most part, is pretty good. Although I do find it annoying that you cannot switch things back to default. Like, say a headband is like white, but then you change it to red. But there's no return to default. And also, the fact that you cannot use some of the different bangs of your hair in other haircuts that would make sense for it kind of annoys me. So it's like, you know, like I find this band of hair that works with so-and-so, but I pick another one a base hair that would work with it, but it can't be used, so it makes no sense. But for the most part, it's pretty robust customization, and I liked it. I also liked the addition of the new yokai shift abilities. Now, for one hand, I do personally think the living weapon was better in the first game, but given what they were trying to do, they couldn't. I can understand why they couldn't fit it. So in a way, it's like you kind of have to. You either like it or you hate it. And for the most part, I like it. I like that you have 3 different forms of combat with the yokai shifting, the brute, the feral, and the phantom. I personally like the brute more, slow as it is, but of course you do have to change it up eventually, depending on the different enemy types you have to deal with, and they all have their strengths and weaknesses, some of them getting used to more than others. Like the phantom, it cannot just insta-block everything, you have to like mash it to match the attacks in order for it to work. The feral, you have to do it precisely as you're about to get hit, otherwise it's just gonna dodge, generic dodge, which honestly has killed me more times than I care to admit, which sucks. And I also like that you can also use these Heartcore's representation that use attacks based on yokai you fight throughout the game. So that's cool. I like that. I like that you can mix and match your play style with different yokai abilities on top of the weapons that you have. So it's, in a way, it's like even though they took maybe 1 or 2 things away, it still feels like they added more to it at the same time. And of course, it's not just with the powers. Of course, you get the new weapons, which honestly I'm a little disappointed with. You only get the switch the switch glaive, or scythe naginata combo, as I like to think of it as, and the hatchets, which, by the way, the reason why the game has hatchets and not the ninja claws or anything that would make more sense is because the director thought the hatchets would appeal to a more Western sensibility, to which I say bullshit. Yeah, they're nice and all, I like them, but I would have preferred, how about you not do that? Play to your strength, don't just appeal to everyone. Otherwise you appeal to no one. And, yeah, you do not get any more weapons, and the fact that they tie all of them to skills is a little bit annoying, because it feels very, very self-limiting. Dream within a dream trophy. So it's like, Come on, that part of the fun is finding and using all these different weapons. So it feels... Oh, Soul Searcher trophy. I wonder what... I'm guessing I got all the soul cores. We need to set out and prevent the seeds of war from being sown. Let's get going. Hitty? What is there even to do anymore, really? What is this? Ah, it's the summon swords. Confused enemy. Yeah, it's the summon swords. No, actually, no. It's more like Archer from Fate Stay Night. You summon a bunch of swords and you just send them raining down. I like it. Builds. Level sinks. The Dream of the Strong has been unlocked. Difficulty of missions is further increased, but so is the strength of the equipment you receive. Okay. Holy sh... Oh, wait a minute. It's all the old missions. So we're really not missing anything. So, Dream of the Strong, instead of Way of the... they changed the name slightly. Dream of the Samurai. Okay, so there are no more side missions. They don't pull the shit that Nioh 1 did. And you also notice there was no double boss fights in this entire game. Like, at all. I'm honestly surprised. There's Hanbei's place. Is he gone?
未来さえ変える力に変え添えてきたこと光栄に思います。さて、そろそろ私も行きましょう。
He moved
お
on.
元気で、秀千代殿。
You too, Hanbei. You too. There's Doo-Doo Head over there. Alright, well, like I said, well, a lot of the old weapons come back, which is nice and all. And if you did not play the DLCs for the first Nioh, of course it's going to naturally feel like you got a bunch of new weapons too. You know, the Odachi, and the Tonfas. But I really wish there was more, like the Ninja Claws from Ninja Gaiden 2, which of course are actually based on an actual weapon. Just, of course, in Ninja Gaiden 2, they were far more, well, fantastical. But I really feel they could have added more, to be perfectly honest. Like, and the fact that they limit the weapon amount to the skills honestly feels silly to me, because it feels self-limiting. Like, I get it, you're trying to tie skills to weapons and all, but I don't know, it just feels silly. And the fact that, I mean, I like the hatchets, but I feel that their inclusion just feels odd. Don't get me wrong, I like them, it's just the reasoning for it is odd. Especially with how Japanese-centric the game ultimately is. And of course you got a crap ton of different armors as well, and all that is good, and all that. So combat is good. I like the... Where is it? How am I doing this? I like that they added more to the jutsus as well. Like, that new revive spell is very good. I recommend using that. The pills. And you get a lot of... And of course you got a lot of spirits as well. And the fact that you can map all the different yokai abilities to them is nice. So yeah, with that said, a lot of new stuff aside, a lot of what was familiar in Nioh 1 is back again. Everything from the shrine to the blacksmith. The blacksmith. What was this? Divine items, yup. Soul matching, disassembly, blah blah blah. Yeah, a lot of what you knew here is back again. So that's both a good thing and a bad thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, which is what they mostly adhered to with Nioh 1. Mostly. So a lot of the base gameplay is the same. Oh, and of course, new enemies. You know, as much as I complain throughout the game, it's, you know, a lot of the enemies I do really like. Some more than others, others not so much. Demon Horde. Oh, that's the DLC armor. And of course, I both like and hate it at the same time. I like how it's a lot of the bosses, the yokai bosses, they add this Shadow Realm mechanic to it, where you have to, you know, be careful not to waste your ki, and also how to use your anima attacks. Like, for instance, the snake and Kasha became my personal favorite. Yatsuno Kami is the name of the snake. Yeah, that's his name. So yeah, you gotta really be careful making use of them, especially if they don't match your element type. So a lot of cool new jutsus, a lot of animas. I also really like that they added more grapple attacks. Especially for weapons like the spear, where, look at that, I can just throw a guy up, send him down, and then go in for a down attack. So there's a lot more moves you can ultimately get in the game, especially from the skill trees. So yeah, a lot of yokai, both new and old, I like, but there's ones that I really don't like the Gaki. Ugh, annoying little dummy. The Yokis are both fun and abysmal, as they've always been. Ippon Datora, I'm not the biggest fan of. The Nurakamis, of course, came back. Wyra, that's a new one. I like how a lot of the early enemies eventually got phased out with the much better ones, like the Skeleton Warrior. Like, no more Gakis for the rest of the game. We get frickin' Skeleton Warriors again. Mitsune Yazura is a cool one. Nuraonis are both cool and infuriating at the same time, just like the Yokis, the slimes. Well, I always hated the slimes. Aberrants are decent. Some enemies that I feel were overpowered, I feel got balanced in this game, which is nice, like the Magatsu Warrior and the Nama whatever they're fucking called. Oniuni came back, Wheel Monk came back, Flying Bolt came back. Karasu Tengus, again, look cool, but are infuriating to deal with. The Rokuro Kubi is probably the one enemy in the whole game that I wish never came back. I hated him in the original Nioh 1's DLCs. I still hate him now. He's the definition of why do you exist, pretty much. Hate him with a passion. I hate that they brought him back. Well, Boomies I personally found to be a better because they just the fake baby on them. They're pure defense, but when you get rid of it, they go on the attack. Themselves open in the process. Tessos are so... I mean, they're manageable now, but early in the game, it's just like, I wanted nothing to do with them because of their fucking fart powers. Which, of course, brings me to another issue. The freaking stink debuff. I hate that. I hate it. Umi Bozus and the Toxic Bozus. Hate them. Yeah, the Namahage and the Magatsu, they were two of the most absurdly difficult normal enemies in the DLCs for Nioh 1. But I feel they were slightly rebalanced in this game. Like, I honestly had more fun fighting them than I ever did in the original version. And that's mostly a nice change in Nioh 2 from Nioh 1. I do think, for the most part, the game is more balanced in its difficulty. I do feel it is harder than Nioh 1 in a lot of cases, but more often than not, definitely not nearly as difficult as its DLCs. It's somewhere in the middle. It has difficulty elements of both of them, but in the middle, more or less. I also like that they tried to balance the enemy variety a bit more, especially in the bosses. You know, a common complaint I had with Nioh 1's bosses were you ended up facing a lot of the same ones over and over and over and over again. Like the Onryu, the Onryuki, you fought him over a dozen times in the first game, and it just got so fucking old. Whereas here, it feels like it's less so, and it's balanced out with some of the other ones, like Mezuki and Gozuki, who, of course, start off very strong, but eventually become no more than mini-bosses by the end of the game, because you've gone that far. In Endra, most of the bosses are learnable, tough at first, but learnable. Yatsu no Kami especially was probably my first truly difficult one, because of the fact that he could go all over the place and he summoned snake minions out of his sides. Tataramoki I really didn't like, because he flies all over the place and you can't even hit him, so there's still bosses in the game I really, really could live without. Kasha I really liked. Probably one of the most surprisingly fun bosses in the whole game. Ryumen Sakuma I got a bit more used to after fighting him solo for the first time in that side mission. There's also a lot more spectacle bosses this time around than the first game. Daidarabochi, the castle. I also like that you get some old traditional classic folklore demons like Shotendoji, Lady Osakabe, Otakemaru. Okay, Otakemaru is considered one of Japan's three greatest yokai, alongside Tamamo no Mai and Shutendoji. Yeah, Tamamo no Mai is the nine-tailed fox spirit that was imprisoned, and of course would possess Yodogimi, Lady Chacha, aka in the DLCs for the first game. So yeah, Nioh 2, honestly, even though you can play it separately from the first game, it's honestly best as a companion piece because it continues as a pseudo-sequel, like at the end of the game. So in a way, it's almost like a recommendation to play both of them. Which is a little bit of a quip I have with the storytelling. I'll get to that in a minute. He appears in Legends... Otakemaru appears in Legends as a demon god who resided in the Suzuka Mountains along the border of Ise and Omi provinces. Wait a minute, Suzuka Mountains? Okay. Let me bring it up. Okay, Suzuka is not a person, it was the place where he lived. No, wait a minute. I was right. The Suzuka Mountains were home to a Nioh, a beautiful goddess named Suzuka Gozen. When Otakemaru first saw her, he was enchanted by her beauty and became determined to spend a night in her company, but was continuously denied. Okay, so it is both the name of the place and the person, so I was correct. And the hero that slew him with her help was Tamura Maro. Okay, so I was correct. He appears in legends as a demon god who resided in the Suzuka Mountains along the border of Issei and Omi province. Says he is said to have possessed great supernatural power with the ability to fly, summon storms, or even cause fire to rain down from the sky. By order of the Emperor, Otakemaru was eventually killed by Sakanoe no Tamaramaro, and his remains sealed in Byodo-in. It was said that Otakemaru could never be killed as long as he held his 3 holy swords, and since the swords were capable of repairing themselves, in the event of them being damaged, Otakemaru was essentially invincible. And of course, there's more details we can, of course, read up, but I'm not going to. But because I have to fight him a bunch more times, well, we can't do that. And obviously, I'm tired. I finished the game. I don't want to go torture myself anymore today than I already have. So, just go read the wiki, the Nioh 2 wiki for the full detail, personally. Unless I bring it up, in which case, maybe that would be, You know what? I have the phone on me. Let's see. What are the rest of it? Okay, so I'm reading off the wiki here. Kashin Koji, the mysterious man whose red eyes each contained 3 pupils, was really a form of Otakemaru who was sealed in Byodo-in. The seal containing Otakemaru was weakened due to the ongoing war, allowing a small amount of his anima to escape and coalesce into the form of Kashin Koji. Okay, so it was part of Otakemaru, not just some random schmub that he possessed. Acting in the shadows, Kashin Koji's goal was to set his true self free. Otakemaru was once persecuted by humanity, leading to his vehement hatred for the entire human race. There's no doubt that if ever a day would come when Otakemaru escaped his prison, he would not hesitate to kill every living soul in Japan. The 3 swords Otakemaru wields are known collectively as the Sanmyoke. The Sanmyoken... somebody did not... Either someone did not edit this on the file correctly, or maybe he copied off the game and the game didn't completely do it. I don't know. The Sanmyoken is made up of Daitoren, Shotoren, and Kenmyoren. And 3 swords are considered treasures of the heavens themselves. The 3 swords are considered treasures of the heavens themselves. It is said that Otakemaru's ability to summon lightning or fire from the sky is due to the power that resides within these holy swords. If these theories prove true, it may perhaps be possible to predict which of his attacks he will use next, depending on the sword he holds in his hand. Yeah, look at that, because he's holding 2 in the air, but one of them's in his hand. The problem being, it's a little hard to tell when he's doing that, especially when you're way too busy trying to not get hit by him. But yeah, I like him for 90% of his boss fight, but a lot of his attacks are frankly stupid. Namely, the whole atomic bomb that he drops. No, thank you. Again, really like that I have my own protagonist that ties in with the greater story. Time passes and the protagonist finally awakens, however possessed by the man with the staff. She attacks William, who happens to be standing before them. Luckily, this possession ends during the course of their combat. Protagonist learns that they have awoken because Maria, who is once again planning to stir up chaos in Japan, has freed Otakemaru from his prison. Yeah, that's probably... on one hand, I like the story. I really do. Is it super hard to follow along? I personally don't think it is, especially not that much, especially since the game provides you with a lot of character files to catch up. And considering that this game is set within an actual period of time and has a backdrop based in actual real Japanese folklore mythology, for all my belly aching of other games and movies like like Disney Star Wars and Halo, where they practically force you to go read supplementary material just to understand whatever the hell is happening because the writers are too damn lazy to explain anything. I'm a little less harsh on it with Nioh 2 because a lot of it is based on actual stuff that that is like thousands of years worth. Like for example, this and God of War, it's like, okay, what is this thing? This looks interesting. Oh, okay, I know what this is now that I've looked up in it. So I get it. But on the other hand, because the game jumps around in time, some characters that you thought may have been living one time, like Danzo, of course, well, we all know he died, but to a certain point in the game, it's like, wait, he died when? So, of course, since this is a primarily Japanese game, primarily before anyone else, the game does expect, the game kind of has this expectation that you know at least a modicum of the time period for which it's set, the Sengoku period. With the unification of Japan with Nobunaga, the Hideyoshi, and the Tokugawa, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I can kind of excuse it because it's interesting stuff. But on the other hand, it does admittedly make for poor storytelling in parts because you're left with points where the game kind of jumps in time and you're like, wait, what happened? Like, when did this character, how did this character, so on and so forth. And also, the last chapter especially is very dependent on whether or not you played in Nioh 1, or at the very least knew what the story of Nioh 1 was, because imagine playing this for the first time, then you see William show up, and the whole shtick with Maria, it's like, okay, who are these people? It's like, the only reason you would know is if you played the first game and its DLCs, or, again, were interested enough to read them up on a story synopsis on Wikipedia, or just watched a playthrough, or even just the Nioh wiki itself, really. So, in terms of storytelling, it really depends on knowing, or at least researching shit that happens, or having played a game previous. So in a way, the story is much more served better as a companion to the first Nioh, rather than just a standalone. Really, the main things that ultimately hold it up in terms of a standalone game is the gameplay, which, again, is mostly unchanged from the first game, but has a lot of new stuff added to it, which differentiate it in some ways. Namely, the yokai shifting, and the couple of new weapons, and the new skills you get. Anyway, they realize what they must do and set out to defeat the man with the staff once and for all. In the ensuing battle, the man with the staff, they still refuse to call him Kashin Koji for whatever reason, and I'm tired of saying man with the staff, so I'm going to call him by his real name. Kashin Koji tries to take over the protagonist's mind, leaving them struggling to resist the call of the darkness once more. It is not until Otake has been defeated and the protagonist regains their sense that they realize that they have been saved by none other than Tokichiro. So we not only fought back his consciousness, but Tokichiro used the Spirit Stone to completely vanquish him, more or less, and put him at peace. So yeah, he was like, oh, Suzuka, yeah, he's remembering the woman he liked. With William's help, Maria's plotting is stopped at last, and true peace is returned to Japan. Tokichiro departs the world of the living, and the protagonist and Mumio resume their journey together. So, yeah, Tokichiro left the world of the living, just like Oda Nobunaga did. Like, They pretty much did what they did in the first game. Like, he shows up, nope, I'm not working with the villain, fuck off. I'm doing my own thing for the hero. That's hilarious, honestly. And I love how they're all friends with, again, even though, but then again, yeah, he was brainwashed, so it wasn't entirely his fault, but he did kind of still make his own bed, let's be honest. So, no samurai to serve, they just went and did their own little thingamajig out in the woods. And since they both have a part of Sohayamaru, that's something I noticed. Like, some characters do not age. I mean, yours, obviously, because it's your own character, you can do whatever the fuck you want. But then you look at Mumio, and she's like, wait, she still looks like she's in her 20s. But then you remember Dosen. Dosen had the Sohayamaru for a time, and it was said that the sword gave you immortality from using it. So, since she had the part of it, the hilt, the guard, well, my character, Hide, had the blade, I would like to assume that even though both parts of the sword were split, it still technically gave them immortality. At least that's what I'm assuming. Tokichiro is resurrected once more by Maria when she comes to Japan, seeking to stir up dissent in order to obtain the Spirit Stones. When he comes to his senses, he sees none other than a protagonist before him. In an attempt to take a blow from the man with the staff that was meant for Tokichiro, the protagonist struggles to resist as the darkness threatens to consume them. Tokichiro saves the protagonist, allowing them to defeat Otakemaru once and for all. This ends a troubled time in Japan's history, and peace visits the land at last. Tokichiro recites a final poem before leaving this plane of existence forever. So he had a... I liked Tokichiro's story. He fell from grace due to becoming the monster that he vowed to not be, and but then you bring him, but then you wake him from his senses, he comes back and he helps you by saving you from the mastermind monster behind everything. So I like that. It gives him a character arc. Mumio. Time passes, and Mumio is eventually reunited with the protagonist when they reawaken in Byodo-in. They are joined by William, a samurai who hails from a different land. Awakening to the fact that simply slaughtering the yokai she despises will never lead to a world without war, Mumio heads deep into Byodo-in. Yeah. After the fighting is over, Mumio and the protagonist look up at a cherry blossom tree, the Juzan tree. Yep, there is no telling when the seeds of war will take root once again. Mumio invites the protagonist to join her in protecting the peace of their world, and the pair depart for a destination unknown. Dosen, Miyoshino. Oh, we can't even change the look to see her hair. Boo. That's what the cutscene is for, I suppose. And yeah, like in the first game, you get a lot of characters based on their actual historical versions. Including ones that I was very much interested in knowing more of. Like Oishi, Nagamasa, Akechi. Akechi, of course, came back, and we all know what happened with him in the first game. Hanzo. We get 2 Hanzos for the price of 1. Hanzo Senior for most of the game, and Hanzo Junior for the last bits of the game. And Junior was the one that William hung around with. Okuni, that was a character that was nice. Yasuke, I was happy to see again. William, having regained their senses, the protagonists together with Mumio heads into the innermost depths of Byodo-in, where they discover Maria engaged in a ritual to revive Tokichiro. The man with the staff prevents the protagonist from intervening as he takes possession of Tokichiro, who then awakes. However, contrary to the embodiment of pure evil he had been at the time of his death, Tokichiro is now all smiles and comes to the protagonist's aid. William takes the chance to take the distracted Maria captive. I'm so glad we do not fight Maria again. Thank you, Lord. The game spared me that nightmare. Oh my god. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What did they do with Maria? That's what I want to know. Did they take her to Tokugawa? Was she executed or jailed? I don't know. Now that the time of war has drawn to a close, William returns to where his young son and Hattori Hanzo Masanari await him. Yeah, they don't say it, but it is implied he did reunite with and marry Okatsu from the first game. Which again is weird considering that Okatsu was virtually absent from the entirety of the DLCs for Nioh 1. Maria. Awakening the protagonist, Maria carries out a ritual to revive Tokichiro to bring about the return of the tyrant. However, the Tokichiro that awakens is far from the monster she had hoped for and is instead a simple, kind-hearted man. Yeah, the man he once was. Dismayed and startled by this development, Maria is apprehended by William, bringing her schemes to an end once and for all. She's turned over to the Tokugawa clan and then sent by ship back to her native land. Oh, so they showed mercy on her. After how much trouble she caused, did you really think that was a good idea? I don't know, man. So yeah. Cutscene, selections back, everything else is back. So everything that was good about the first game is there. And there are, like I said, there's a lot of good aspects to it as well. The new customization, a lot of the things for your hut, the different spirits. Where I am disappointed, however, there's no dragon spirit. I mean, that's not really much of a big knack against the game per se, but come on, no dragon spirit. I wanted a dragon spirit. I guess the snake will have to do. 3 huts, and you can hang scrolls on the back over there, and the tea utensils, which do some interesting shit. So, yeah. A lot of that is good. So, yeah. The additions to gameplay, new weapons, new attacks, new armors, new bosses. And, of course, they definitely tried to balance things out. Like, one of the best things they did in Nioh 2, they actually balanced the game's level. Like, for example, in Nioh 1, there were so many times in Nioh 1 where the game would jump 20 to 30 levels ahead, and you'd be left scrambling, grinding, trying to get back, and I'm so glad they changed that. Now it's more or less on you. You have to be careful trying to keep up with the game, and if you don't, and you get yourself left behind, that's your fault. So you really have to take advantage of getting all the Amrita you need to level up. And again, with the bosses, I like the new Shadow Realm mechanic. How you have to be careful and use especially make use of your yokai abilities. So that's all good. And so yeah, a lot to like. a lot to like, including the new ninjutsus and other and onmyos, and among other things. So there's a lot to like, but there's also a lot of stuff I don't like, and it's stuff that either that that seems to be a common trend as of late with the last couple of games that I've played, where it's like they take 5 steps forward, but just as much, if not close to, as many steps backward. For example, the dojo. I do not like that they brought back the proficiency limit for having to do any of this. Like, I hated this. Like, it was a chore in Nioh 1. It's a chore now. Like, come on, just let me do the missions, for God's sakes. So yeah, the proficiency... The only reason the proficiency points only reason they exist is just to keep track of... I can only understand these for leveling up your skills for the different weapons and abilities. That's fine, but why we still have to bother with this is dumb, especially since some side missions are locked away as a result. Oh, and the tea house comes back. Let me praise. Another big one. Passable, he says. Karatsu. Ugh, that's an ugly one. So yeah, I like that. I like that the tea sets give you little bonuses as well. We actually agree. That one was rubbish. Karatsu tea bowls were made in the furnaces of Karatsu, Bison Province. They are known for their distinctive and elegant simplicity. A Japanese saying, first Edo, second Raku, third Karatsu, suggests that Karatsu was considered one of the 3 finest types of tea bowls by the tea masters of Japan. Okay. And of course, you know, you can trade stuff with Danzo just like before, including making your character look like other characters. Maria, William, so on and so forth. Although I find it odd that Fuku's model is in this game, even though she never appears. She's mentioned, but never appears. Which is weird, to be honest. The clan battles come back, of course. So yeah, the proficiency is something that I wish they either changed or got rid of. And now we come into one of the other big changes. The skill tree. I have very, very, very mixed feelings about the skill tree, because on one hand, it looks cool with the whole Buddhism, Shinto look. The problem, however, is that it's a sphere grid. Sphere grids have never been received well ever since they first came to prominence with Final Fantasy X. And you can see why I do not like it, as opposed to the upgrade system in the first game, which was simple enough and I could understand where everything was. Some things were a little weird to unlock, but you know, it was evenly spaced out. I could read where everything was and ultimately understand find everything. The problem with the sphere grid in Nioh 2 is that because it's so elaborately detailed, it makes finding things that you want to upgrade a chore. Like, I can't tell you how many times it took me forever just to find what I was looking for, and I still have trouble finding shit that I want because of how overly spaced out everything is. It's honestly, it's a chore, to be perfectly honest. So rather than going down a list of skills like in the first game, instead you're given a giant map where everything is bunched up and you can barely tell where everything is. And it's basically like it's giving the illusion of complexity, but for the wrong reasons. Yes, there's a lot of awesome skills, both old and new, but finding any of them, especially some of the dog shit requirements you have to do, like, oh, you cannot get to, like, for example, you where was this? There was one other one, like, it's a little hard to tell now, but there's ones where, like, for example, say you want to do one of these or something like that, and clearly there's a line connecting, but no, you can't do it because you gotta go unlock on one that you don't want to use. That is frankly stupid, to be perfectly honest. It makes more sense to, you know, have a skill that you want connected to one that is an upgrade, or at least a form of it, and connect it with. That makes sense. But then you have ones where it's like, you want it, it's clearly connected to one of the other ones that you've done, but you can't do it because they're forcing you to go and spend a point on a skill you don't want. That is ultimately horseshit. It's like, it's not deep or complex in that regard. It's just a chore. So I really do not like the skill tree, the upgrade skill tree sphere grid very much. It gives the illusion of choice and player depth, but it's just a hassle to navigate. And they force you to buy ones that you do not want to use just to get to the ones you really want. So it's really not a good system. It's really not a good replacement for the original one. Also, even though there's a lot of new ones as well, I find it puzzling that some skills are completely missing. Like, for example, the element spells for the Onmyo magic. You know, the first game you had lightning, water, fire, and earth. Well, they got the first three, but for whatever reason, earth is not in this game at all, which I find strange. I don't know why they took it out, to be perfectly honest. Did they think it was a skill? Did they think it was a power that ultimately didn't affect much? I don't know. I don't know, really. So yeah, I have mixed feelings about the skill tree. Like, there's some good acts about the sphere grid, but for the most, there are some cool aspects of it, namely the look. But in terms of but it's a nightmare in terms of navigating the damn thing, and I really didn't like that change. So yeah, it's a tale of what should have been changed versus what didn't need to be changed. Like the proficiency point requirement for the dojo, stupid. Should have gotten rid of it, or made it easier to access the dojo stuff. And then, of course, like I said, the sphere grid should have stayed the way it was. It was easy to navigate, did not need to be flutzed around with. So, also, they thankfully, besides balancing the leveling of the game, as well as doing some other things, I also was very surprised that there has been no double boss fights in this entire playthrough of Nioh 2. Nioh 1 didn't really have any double boss fights in its main missions, but it certainly did in the side missions that it unlocked after the fact, and they were horrible. like in trying to do a quantity over quality method, as opposed to every other game, which tends to go the other way around. They tried to do too many things at once, and in so doing, they ended up doing levels where they shoved bosses that have no reason to be partners with each other into the same room. And it's a nightmare, personally, because let's be honest, a lot of the bosses in Nioh 1 were not meant to fight with each other. If you're going to make a double boss, or even a triple, you have to take that balancing act into account. You can't just throw 3 random fiends into one arena and say, fuck it, go kill them off. Like, no, some of them are just not meant to be together. A lot of them are not meant to be together. And so you end up with what is basically a massacre on your person, because the game is basically throwing everything but the kitchen sink. So thankfully, they didn't do that this time. On one hand, I'm of two minds with this. On one hand, I am glad they learned that lesson and that they did not put any double bosses in this game. They just went, okay, just give the monster ones this Shadow Realm Rage Mode thing and work with that. So that's all well and good. But on the other hand, I am a little disappointed that they didn't try to improve on that. Like, don't just throw it out. Actually refine it, put the work in. But, you know, if you're going to make a double boss, actually go to the drawing board and make it work, you know what I mean? That's why bosses like Agni and Rudra in Devil May Cry 3 work. That's why stuff like the Shadow of Yharnam and Bloodborne work, because they were conceived to be that way from a drawing board, not just a couple of random dudes just put in the same room. So on one hand, I'm glad they did not do that again, but on the one hand, I am disappointed that they didn't actually put in any effort. They just said, screw it, don't even bother. So pick your poison, really. Pick your poison. And like I said, some enemies I'm glad are back, others I wish were not brought back. Like the Roku, the long neck ones. And oh, and also you can find hidden stuff throughout the maps, which I like to get a little extra trivia from the game. I do have, of course, other issues with the game, like, for whatever reason, despite having the ability to cut short the time needed to set up spells, and I got those points, it doesn't really feel like it does anything this time. Like in Nioh 1, once you upgraded those Mystic Art abilities to use Onmyo and Ninjutsu right away, like, fuck it. It was, you didn't have to waste your time. Like, light up a sword, doom, already done. Flick of a finger. Just need a spell thrown out, done. No need to do the posing. Whereas in here, in Nioh 2, my character was still doing the poses when I was using pills or setting up Onmyo magic and jutsus. It's like, okay, I got the upgrade to get rid of that, how come it didn't work? So some of the upgrades do feel... So while the combat does feel moderately more balanced, I do feel that some things that were fine before were not carried over, and that's one of them. Also, I had again, now, correct me if I'm wrong, because it has been so long since I played Nioh 1, but I had a lot of difficult bits in this game where, oh, there's another bit. There'd be times where in the middle of a fight, I would try to eat an elixir, or set up a spell, or eat a pill, what have you, and the controls would not respond. I'd be pressing the button, I'd be trying to do a burst counter, and nothing happens. I'd have to mash the button just to get it to work. Now again, I could be wrong, and that could have happened in Nioh 1, and I could likely be forgetting that ever happening. But on the off chance that it never happened in the first game, I do not see any reasonable excuse as to why, after having pressed a button once, a command should not just say, screw you, I'm not gonna work. It's bullshit. Okay, Kusanagi Tsurugi, found in Atsuta Shrine, located in Owari Province. Atsuta Shrine is famous for being the home of the legendary Japanese sword known as Kusanagi no Tsurugi, making it the second most distinguished shrine after the Ise Shrine in Japan. Oh, more trivia. Yep. More of these holy swords. So, yeah, and of course, like I said, there's also a lot of other mechanics from the first game that I wish were different. Like, I really do not like how some enemies are placed in areas that are completely meant to fuck you over, no matter what you do. Like the long necks being placed on narrow bridges, freaking bosses that take up entire rooms with their attacks being placed in super small environments, and snipers and monsters hidden in the trees where you can't see them. It's like, come on. And it doesn't work, especially since you'd be fighting, trying to stay alive. You're focusing all your attention on the big bad samurai or fiend in front of you. Then all of a sudden, kaboom, cannon round or musket round hits you from behind and you're dead. Just like that. It's like, really? Really with this shit? I mean, yeah, I get it. Souls, Nioh, whatever, difficulty. But there's being difficult, and then there's just being cheap. Like, one wrong move into the wrong zone, and all of a sudden, everyone it's like a Metal Gear enemy. They all zone in on you, and you're dead, just like that. So I find that infuriating. I also have very mixed opinions on how you get all of your items of equipment. Like, on one hand, I get it. That was one of the things that people liked about Nioh 1, the Diablo-like variety of all the stuff that you got. Okay. Oh yeah, we do not get to use the Sanmyo Blade Fragment. Really, so we can make the Sanmyo. Yeah, also, despite the whole game building up to it, we do not ever get to use the Sohaya Maru. Unless I'm wrong and we actually can use it. Because the fact that we build up to that thing only to never once use it in actual combat is silly. Yeah, I'm looking for it. We do not actually get to use Sohai Maru in this game, which is stupid since how... I mean, yeah, we get a lot of swords and weapons as is, but... the fact that we don't get to actually use it is dumb, to be perfectly honest. And... yeah, I get it. You get a lot of shit that you can use, and a lot of it is awesome. I like that they brought back old and introduced new versions of different weapons. Unfortunately, it still has the problem of sorting shit in the inventory, especially when you don't mean to pick anything else up. Like, for example, I much prefer picking the stuff from the menu and going through it item by item. Okay, this is what I want, this is what I want, instead of it all going onto a random-ass pile where everything is bunched up and you can barely tell what the hell you're supposed to pick up. Like, I hate that. Why can't it all be in a menu? Where we can go about it in an organized fashion. I don't like that. Ugh, there was one other thing. Yeah, some of the stuff they do not explain either, like the foreign necklace or the cannon sculptor. Like, they give us this shit, and they don't tell you what to do with any of it. I didn't like that either. I just realized I have a bunch of soul cores. Karasu Tengu, I do not care about. Takemaru. And yeah. And of course, some of the bosses do have very, very, very stupidly cheap moves, like the Otakimaru Fireball, like I mentioned. I do like how this time you can actually summon blue Acolyte Spears to go by your aid, which is something I feel like... It feels like something that was taken out of Code Vein, but made slightly more, you know, strategic, where you needed, of course, the Ochoko Cups from the first game. So, I like that. I like that you're able to get assistance if you're having trouble. Unfortunately, the AI for the Acolytes is dumb as a rock, since their pathfinding oftentimes gets them trapped in the environment and they can't move for whatever reason. They don't even think to go left, right, or nothing. So even though they're useful as a partner in fights, in terms of traveling with them, they are ultimately fucking annoying, because they like to go, like I said, their pathfinding sucks, and they also have a bad habit of forcing enemies that you're trying to kill into groups of other enemies, and you end up with a fucking massacre on your hands, and it's freaking irritating. So, the Acolyte AI, the Acolytes, useful new feature, especially if you're having trouble with some particularly hard bosses, which I most certainly made full use of them, especially when I finally grew very, very tired and was like, okay, enough, I'm done with this, just finish it already. But they also have a bad habit of either, like I said, getting into trouble or dying within the span of 2 seconds, so yeah. And of course, there are some bosses that I don't like Katsuye Shibata with his damn charges. So yeah, there's bad enemies, there's good enemies, there's good bosses, there's bad bosses, but overall, I would say in terms of skill level, I would say this game is somewhere in the middle between difficulty of Nioh 1 and the DLCs. Not easy, but not absurdly ridiculous most of the time. I stress most of the time. So yeah, let me think. Overall, the game is virtually the same, virtually unchanged, but has a lot of stuff to differentiate it from the first game. Story is for the most part understandable, but also kind of hamstrung by the fact that it is better served as a companion to the first game rather than as a standalone because of the final chapter. And and I did not like the change of the old upgrade chart to a sphere grid. The proficiencies or points requirement are still there, and I hate those. I did not think there were nearly enough new weapons as I would have liked, because most of what you get is from the first game and it's DLC, so only 2 genuinely new weapons when others would have been nice, like the Wolverine Ninja Claws. Granted, there is a season pass for this game, so on the off chance DLC expansions do happen, which is likely the case, I do expect to see new weapons on the horizon, which is of course appreciated, hopefully. Of course, the fact that they limited them based on the skills here in regards to, constitution, heart, stamina, strength, so on and so forth, it's like, I find it to be overly limiting. Because, you're kind of like killing variety right there. Let me go change to some gear that I would like to wear. And look at that. I look good. I really do. That I just remembered. There's one other thing. Because like I said, the Diablo system for the weapons. Well, on one hand, yeah, they did, I get it. Finding new stuff to use. Both armor and weapons from the system. That's all well and good. What isn't well and good, however, is the fact that some of them are not on the trees. For example, look at this one, Dragonhorn. Despite it being on the sphere grid, you do not actually earn this on the grid. And there's a whole bunch of other ones hidden away. You want to know how you get this? You only get it by fighting a certain boss until it finally drops. So there's even more new skills in this game that are hidden that I haven't even unlocked yet, because for whatever reason Team Ninja thought it was a good idea to, instead of having this be something that you would traditionally unlock by beating the boss or just unlocking it in the tree, you have to count on dumb luck to honestly get the thing you want. So, had I not played the Yoshitatsu boss again while I was grinding, I wouldn't have known about this. And the fact that there's others like it, honestly, is kind of stupid. Like, come on. I get the weapons, I get the armors, I get that, but why would you hide something like this behind RNG loot? It's frankly retarded. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of more stuff to say, but I think I've pretty much run out of thoughts, really. So, overall, Nioh 2, not a bad game. It is a very good one, a great one even, especially if you know what you're doing. And while it does bring in a lot of new, good, interesting stuff, it is unfortunately hamstrung by some rather backwards decisions that were perfect, that were for stuff that was either fine in the first game and should have been left alone, or stuff that was bad in the first game that should have been either done away with or changed. Some of that is obviously was done, like the rebalancing and the fact that there's no double boss fights, because let's be honest, a lot of the bosses were not meant for it. But then you have stuff like the taking away the earth element power up, leaving in the proficiency points, making the level system an overly large sphere grid where some moves are hidden behind bosses. It's like, yeah, there's like 5 things, awesome things, but there's like 3, 4, almost as many things back that hold it back, especially in terms of the cheap difficulty and some rather stupid moves for some bosses. So it's still enjoyable like the first game, in some ways better than the first game in gameplay, but there's still a lot of things that I hesitate to call that in my opinion hold it back. It's like Doom Eternal all over again. Like, Doom Eternal did some awesome things, but did some other things where it's like, okay, you did not advance yourself or improve yourself nearly as much from the last game, and you're back to the level of where you were in the first game. So in some ways, I like it better than Nioh 1, but in other ways, like, why didn't you improve this kind of thing? You know what I mean? Or why did you even replace what was fine with this worse thing? And of course, like I said, I also had problems with the controls just not responding, like me trying to use a spell or something, and it'd be like, ding, nope, not working. So, I love the character customization, I love the new moves, I love the new grapple attacks they allow you to do, I love the new yokai stuff. The story is fine, if passable, and still fun. I like the new character customization. As for whether or not I think it's a good standalone for the first game, well, yes and no. 95% of the game is basically a prequel for the first game, but it's better off as a companion piece to the first game because of that extra chapter that takes place after the events of the first game. So, wait a minute, 1616, but William didn't come back to Japan until 1615, so either he and Okatsu did it before he left the first time, or something else. I don't know. That's the implication, I suppose. Maybe he and her did it, then he left to go kill John Dee, and then when he came back she had the kids, and that's why she wasn't around in Nioh 1's DLCs, because she was, you know, so on and so forth. So So yeah, I definitely recommend it more as a companion to the first game story-wise because of all that, but at the same time, I do appreciate that they put William in there as a bit of a wrap-up to the first game, and to, you know, settle some loose ends as well. So, if you love the first game, you'll definitely like it. Even if you are a newcomer, I'd recommend it. Both of them, really. So yeah, overall, despite my gripes with some silliness throughout, from me dying to cheap moves and cheap enemies here and there, I do really like the game. I don't think it's a huge improvement over the first game, but I definitely recommend it for what it is, especially if you can put up with a lot of bullshit. So yeah, this was a very drony review, I apologize, but the game's just had a lot of things that I wanted to cover. A lot of things I wanted to cover and had to cover. So overall, I'd probably give it a point, at least maybe half a point or so over Nioh 1. Better in a lot of places, but floundering still in others. So it's like, yeah, it's virtually the same game, just with other stuff attached to it. So overall, if you like the first Nioh, definitely recommend 2. Definitely play them back to back if you have time and energy to do it. So it's been a long journey. I'm tired. My throat hurts. And, well, until Team Ninja drops the inevitable DLCs for the game, that's pretty much all there is to do at this point. So, with that said, that'll be it for Nioh 2 until due time, if and when stuff drops for it. I had fun with it, despite my belly aching, but, you know, it is what it is. You come to get, you expect to get your ass beat regardless. So, with all that said, I'm done. I had fun despite everything, and hope y'all enjoyed the playthroughs despite everything. So, that'll be it. I'll see y'all later. Oyasuminasai.